You're listening to a wee moan podcast with Nads and Joan.
Welcome back to a Wee Moan podcast with Nads and Joan, where we talk everything entertainment, celebrity, and pop culture news. I will get that right one day, but it's going to take me a couple of goes. Joan, how are you?
I'm fabulous, and happy birthday to you, Nadia Dusselberg.
Thank you very much. 45. I can't believe it.
Yes.
But yes. So we're going to have a really good show for you today. We are going to do a bit of a binge and banter type episode where we go through some current and not so current TV programs that we've really enjoyed and that we just want to kind of critique and give you some recommendations for. But first, Joni, I have a little Megan update if you'd like to hear it.
What has happened in the world of Megan?
So as ever has put out a statement that they will have no products until 2026.
Jam?
But they did not say why or, give any reason to what is going on. But I think something pretty bad is going on. It's just a restock.
Isn't Megan just constantly cooking jam in her kitchen? I can't believe this. Picking raspberries and out with the honey guy collecting.
This is what I mean. It should not take. I reckon they must have had some kind of bad dealings with distributors, or they needed new kitchen. I don't know what's going on, but they've fallen. It's something's bad's happened. I reckon.
Yeah, restock. You've sold out, so restock.
Yeah, no. So to give a statement that it's going to take more than 6 months to restock that's saying a few things. But anyway, let's get back to the show. So you lead us into what we're talking about, Joan.
Okay, well, we're going to start with Ripley, which was a absolutely cranker of a series. I have not seen anything as good. I'm going to say possibly ever.
Yeah.
I just loved it.
I agree.
Yeah. So we'll start with that, and then we're going to run through a couple of true crime series that are on Netflix. We're also going to talk about Sirens, a new program on Netflix, and a reality TV series on the who is it, Nads? The Baldwins.
The Baldwins. Ilaria.
Si, senor. So starting with Ripley, which my parents originally recommended. Yep, you go.
Well, yeah, your parents originally recommended it to you, and you hadn't seen it yet, and I had told you about it separately. And it's literally one of those shows. It's very special. One of these shows don't come around too often, and they're one of those shows that sort of seep into your soul, and they stay there for months on end. It is honestly done so well. It is the production values are better than film quality, if that could even be possible.
Yep.
We're starting strong with this one because it's honestly if you haven't seen it, I'm jealous.
Well, you and I just rewatched it for the second time, which I actually, the first time I watched it, I rewatched one episode purely because I was like, oh my God, that was brilliant. So it is originally a novel written by Patricia Highsmith in 1955. It takes place in Italy, which is incredibly beautiful.
City at the beginning.
What's that?
And in New York City at the beginning.
Oh, yes, New York City at the beginning, and then we go to Italy. The story behind it is that Tom Ripley is a bit of a fraudster living in New York. He's broke, and he happens to come across a very rich man, Greenleaf, who propositions him to go to Italy to get his son to come back to New York. And Tom Ripley at this stage is already lying to Greenleaf by pretending he actually knows his son, Dickie, which he does not. It continues on. He goes to Italy where he falls in love with Dickie Greenleaf's life.
By the way, we
living there
should
with
be
his
saying
girlfriend.
there's a couple of spoilers here. So if you haven't seen it, we'll try not to spoil everything. But yeah,
There
to give you an
are,
overview.
yes. But this was released in 2020, and the
Yeah.
book was written in 1955. And there's also the huge film that was made in the 2000s with Gwyneth Paltrow, Jude Law, Matt Damon, and Capote.
Very
Not
famous.
Capote, the guy who plays Capote.
Yeah, that was a Weinstein production, and it
Was it?
was The Talented Miss, which was that was yeah. So
Right.
that was like I had to sort of so what you're showing right now on the screen is the Ripley, the new one that's on Netflix at the moment. We shouldn't say new because it's been on there for probably a couple of years. But The Talented Mr. Ripley, I just watched it recently because I wanted to compare the two, and they
Yes.
are chalk and cheese, in my opinion.
Chalk and cheese.
Yeah.
I mean, down to the fact that one is black and white, one is colour.
Yeah.
But even,
And
I
can we-
don't think you get Andrew Scott plays Ripley. He's terrifying, really, as Ripley.
He's an anti-hero.
Yeah, and he was Hot Priest in Fleabag.
Yeah, I haven't seen Fleabag yet.
Oh, Nadia, I'm jealous of
Yeah.
you. It's so
Okay.
good.
Okay.
So Andrew Scott, he's terrifying. He's a psychopath. Well, he's playing a psychopath, isn't he? And he does that so well because he is sort of one-dimensional. Does that make? Do you agree with that?
Well, yeah, no, totally. It's just it's weird to be watching an anti-hero like as the main protagonist, and like you're following the guy's story, and you don't actually like him particularly.
At
Like
all.
he's got no redeeming qualities whatsoever. He's very flat pan. He's not charismatic at all. But how he like owns that screen, and you're like invested in everything he's doing. I mean, it gives you chills.
Yes, and he's often the only person in one scene. Often. It's just him
Yeah.
doing something.
Yeah.
Every single scene in this show you could frame and hang on your wall. It's incredibly beautiful.
The cinematography, the production values of this is actually second to none. I don't think I've seen anything so visually stunning, especially the sets, the way it was set in, the what was it, the 50s. I just added an extra sort of like level of beauty, and like it was just stunning. But we should say, don't be turned off by the black and white aspect, because like for me, I would have been like annoyed at that. But
Me too.
honestly, you forget about that within 20 minutes.
Oh, I wouldn't want it any other way, particularly after what? No, totally. And you think to yourself, don't be black and white. Like, you're set in Italy. I want to see the beautiful, the ocean and the color and all. But no, black and white was a perfect choice. And when you watch The Talented Mr. Ripley with Gwyneth Paltrow, etc., that's in color, and boy, it does not do it any justice whatsoever, does it?
Well, it doesn't add anything. And I just remember the ending was really shit in that one. The ending in this in Ripley is
Perfect.
chef's kiss. Like boom, it's so
Yes,
good.
it just
Wraps it up with a bow, and
So in it, we've got
Tell us,
we've
give
got
us the
Andrew
lowdown.
Scott, like I said, Hot Priest from Fleabag. Dakota Fanning, she's great. I like her.
She's great.
She's also not particularly likable. All the characters in it are not likable,
No,
which they probably wouldn't be. Like, they're rich snobs living it up in Italy. He's not. Tom's not. He's just a psychopath. But you know what I mean? They're not likable. Dickie is Johnny Flynn. Who's that, Nadia? Who is Johnny Flynn?
Yeah, so Johnny Flynn played in Emma. I'm a big I mean, I love my Jane Austen classics.
Yeah.
And he was to die for in that, so I recognized him. And he played. He was great. He was great in this as well. He played perfectly. Yeah. Who else? Oh, and the director. Can we talk about the director, because I didn't realize how talented this director was. Like, I didn't look
Zalian. Don't know if I'm saying his name right, but that's his name, Stephen Zalian.
Yeah, and as we've just recently found out, was the writer of Schindler's List. Like, he's a very talented writer. I don't think he's done a bit of more directorial kind of work more recently. But I just, like, now that I know who he is, and like I want to watch his entire back catalogue now. I'm like, The Irishman's in there, like all of the other things that he's done, I want to look into because of this film.
Yeah, sure. I don't know what the Irishman is, but you're right. He's been involved with that. We also need to mention Elliot Sumner, who is Sting's third child, not sure. Stars as Dickie as well. Is his name? No, someone else.
No. Dickie's friend. Oh God, I've just lost his name.
Peter? No.
Anyway, we'll get his name.
Doesn't matter. But they are
his Sting's son.
Yes. Brilliant. And
I mean, he plays amazingly.
Dedicated to their ending from Woe to Go. That's the episode that I replayed.
Ah.
But it's a spoiler alert. Who cares? But so you want me to talk about it? That episode I'm talking about?
Yeah. No. Talk about it while I get his name.
Okay, so the name is Elliot Sumner. Oh, but you're talking, Elliot Sumner is murdered by Ripley in a beautiful hotel room. There is a cat that is very prominent in the removal. You know how the cat's watching the whole thing?
Yeah, the cat's a whole another character. Freddie Mills. Freddie.
Yeah, so Freddie's another rich friend who wanted Ripley to come up to his to spend winter with him in Italy somewhere. Ripley doesn't not Ripley wants Dickie Greenleaf to come there, so he's suspicious of Ripley. He goes to Ripley's house, who's now pretending to be Greenleaf's, goes into his house, and Ripley disposes of him, but then it shows how he then goes about having to get rid of the body because he's on like a third floor apartment. You need to get the body into a lift, which is sometimes not working, down some stairs quietly in the middle of the night into a car in the streets of Italy, and it's just so good. Yeah. Also, it's interesting. I found it interesting watching that because you couldn't get away with a murder like that now, right? Because CCTV and all that kind of stuff, and it makes you think about how much the world has changed in terms of committing murders. It's a whole different world out there if you want to kill someone and dispose of a body.
It's just done so well, and if there's anything you can take from this podcast, watch that and make sure you come back and you thank us, because you will thank us after watching it.
As I did my parents, who I ignored the first time, didn't listen, and then went, oh my God, they're right.
And if you do have a partner, you don't have to do it, but watch it with someone, because you want to discuss it with someone afterwards. And just trust me, you'll need to just like digest everything after seeing it. Yeah.
All right. So moving on to, should we go to our reality murders? Not reality. No, what do you call
True
them?
crime.
True crime. There you go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the first one we're going to be talking about is the Gabby Petito murder, which was a couple of years ago now. And I actually watched this play out real time. So I was getting into true crime on YouTube of all places, and there was all these people. It was just like my favorite place to kind of like decompress. I don't know what that says about my mental health. But like, you would have these people giving updates on all these trials and all these mysteries and unsolved mysteries. And then all of a sudden this Gabby Petito murder was like, there was a manhunt like happening. Yes. So the internet was like all over it. And it was in actuality the internet sleuthers that helped solve this crime.
So yourself helped solve the crime?
Well, I was supporting the people that helped solve the crime by watching.
So what happens is Gabby Petito is dating a guy. She wants to... Who's she dating, Nadia? What's his name?
Brian Laundrie.
Right.
I said that really weird. Brian Laundrie.
Laundry? As in
laundry, as in like, yes, clothes washing.
Wow. So she's dating Brian Laundrie, and he seems like a nice guy, but he's a little insecure. She goes away with him in a caravan, and she is blogging the entire time. I think her blogging puts pressure on the caravan trip and their relationship.
Yeah.
She's constantly trying to get like the perfect takeout And if anyone's ever been caravanning, when people tell you that they're having a fabulous time the entire time, they're lying.
Yeah.
I've been on a family trip to Tasmania. It was beautiful, but there's a lot of things that aren't fun about traveling around.
No, but this does not help. Like this doesn't add to someone wanting to kill someone. Like, can we just put that out there?
No. But so she's blogging, and I think that they're getting on each other's nerves. And
she's feeling very overwhelmed, and he is bashing her basically. And people are witnessing it happen. And in fact, one because they have this on the police body cam, where someone, Brian, basically was like taking the key, like punched her in the face, took the keys, and like she was trying to get back into the car, clawing herself back into the car. He was pushing her out. Someone witnessed this, wrote down the number plate, gave it to the police. And the police caught up with them, and they have the footage of this incident, which happened maybe, I want to say a week before maybe less than a week before she died, with his hands. And they have the police body cam footage of that incident and her just trying to protect him again. And she's got, like marks on her neck, scratches here. And you can tell she's so afraid, and she just like is in this panic because she doesn't want to get him in trouble, because she knows if she gets him in trouble, she'll probably be even worse off with him, because he's so volatile. Yeah, and
they're sort of suggesting that she's attacked him, and he's playing she
unbelievable.
It's horrible, actually.
Just to watch the whole thing play out and literally see scars. Him, not a scratch on his body. She, does have marks on her body. And
I think he's got scratches on his neck, and he's kind of like going, "See, she just grabbed me."
Oh, okay.
Whatever, mate.
But they didn't put two and two together, because the people that actually called in the phone call said he punched her. Like he was attacking her. But they just believed Brian. Like, no, yeah.
And then they say you go stay in one hotel and you stay in another hotel. You're not to communicate for 24 hours, but I'm pretty sure they sort of hook up relatively quickly within that time.
Yeah.
Anyway, so fast forward to, it's a terrible circumstance, but fast forward to the sleuth part, because she then goes missing. It becomes a missing persons case. His family then completely shut down, won't speak to her family. And he's
gone missing as well. There's a manhunt active for him because he's gone missing as well. They're in contact with the family going, because Gabby's parents are like, we haven't heard from Gabby. She's sending these messages that doesn't seem like her. And it was really Brian sending them. We haven't spoken to her. And then all of a sudden, like, Brian turns up at the laundry's house.
Yes.
With the car, like the car's there.
Yes.
And that's like 2 weeks later. And it's like, whoa, where's Gabby? Like, where is Gabby? So that's
but they won't talk to the parents of Gabby. Like Gabby's parents contact them and like go, okay, can we talk to Laundry, the guy? And they sort of say, no, he doesn't want to talk. Awful.
And then they got the lawyers involved straight away. They weren't speaking to Gabby's parents. It was very suspect from the very beginning. And it's fascinating because with the show, so it's called Gabby Petito American Murder. We'll just chuck on the
Oh yeah, do you want me to get it?
Oh, there it is. Where is
it?
That's Gabby there, gorgeous human.
Yeah.
So I've lost my place here, but yeah. So what was I saying?
You were saying that they lawyer up.
Oh, they lawyer up. Yeah. So we've got. Basically, that's right. Within the actual show, Gabby Petito American Murder, you have the internet sleuths talking about it. They have all of this background footage of because she's been carrying a camera around the entire time. They've got all the background scenes to set up this. It's not just sort of like, fake setups. Like, it's all very much involved in the murder and how they had so many people, like different campers, that solved this crime. And it's just so fascinating that the internet really uncovered like how it happened.
Yeah, because one camper was camped in a particular spot where she's like, I saw that white van, and then some other woman said, I picked up that man at 6:00 in the morning and I drove him back to this area, and it just checks out that, okay, so that's the time frame that he's probably disposed of Gabby.
Yeah. Oof. Well then in the end, because Brian wasn't leading them to the body or would tell them where she was, the reason they found that is on someone's dash cam.
Yeah.
Someone like 2 weeks later had like sort of like reviewed, because everyone was searching for this white van at the time, and like, you know, like back footage, you know, like looking, just researching all of their photographs, and everyone was like sort of getting involved. This one person had a dash cam, and they were going through this sort of camping ground, this sort of like tree lined, and then road. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you saw this white van coming into view, and it was the precise time around the murder of when they were looking for her body. So that the search for her body actually began at that very location, you know, the days after, because of this, you know, Samaritan who found the van on their dash cam footage. So it's just remarkable how it all played out.
And just as I said before, you know, very different to Tom Ripley's experience of murdering someone.
Yeah.
No cameras around then.
No, exactly. Well, now it's just like eyes on. Everyone has a dash cam and a Ring camera at their front door these days. So very hard to. Do you ever like, you know, when you're watching these like true crime things, and you're like, when the cops are like closing in and they're like, oh, we found like fingerprints on that. Do you ever think like, I wouldn't have done that. That's a rookie move, that one. Like, you know what I mean?
With all these crime shows, everyone's such experts now.
Everyone's an expert in murder. Like, it's like, wouldn't have buried him there, mate.
No, I feel like I'd be like throw my hands up in the air pretty quickly and be like,
yeah, of course.
I don't know what to do, guys. Like, he's gone.
It's very easy from the comfort of your couch to be like, you idiot, mate.
So our other true crime show was American Deadly Marriage. Jesus.
Yes. Yeah.
Another charming show, which for some reason I always watch.
These are both on Netflix, by the way.
Yeah. Both very bingeable quite quickly. You don't necessarily feel great after them, but it just is what we do. So this one is this lovely Irish family, totally young couple, have 2 kids, and then mum dies. Natural causes. Dad is very sad. He's a happy, jolly sort of Irish bloke, right? And he decides to hire a nanny. Enter hot, young, blonde, psycho.
American.
She comes over. Quite quickly, the children are calling her mommy, mommy. She's falling madly in love with them. He's falling madly in love with her because he's probably quite vulnerable. And he decides to leave the green pastures of Ireland and go to America. Bad choice anyway. Why would you go to America? Like, stay in Ireland.
Well, let's just be careful. A lot of our listeners come from America.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I mean, condolences to America. So he takes off and he goes to America with the hot nanny. I think his family are quite supportive. They get married, but there is a telltale sign at the marriage where the sister, who's a prominent character in this, the sister of the brother who's just married the nanny, she comes up to a friend of the bride, says to the sister something about just a big lie that the nanny has told about knowing the children for some time, or there's some lie that comes out at the wedding. And
I do. That does ring a bell. For some reason, it has not stuck in my head as well.
You know what I mean? You'd be in a moment of, okay, that's weird. I can't remember what the lie is, but it's a big deal.
It's big. It's a really big lie.
And anyway, it continues on like that. The Irish family go back to Ireland. The Americans live in America. And then lo and behold, there's a 911 call, and the jolly Irish bloke has had his head smashed in. Like, sorry, listeners. But he's been completely demolished with some hard object, and there's blood all over the room. He is dead, and
it doesn't look like self-defense. We do see the room. We do see the room, and it is an absolute bloodbath. It does not look like self-defense. There's not a scratch on the woman. And her father was there, who is an FBI, a past FBI,
father
alum. And he was the one that, was trying to, killed him basically. But they were, So go on.
So Molly Martin is the nanny who's now claiming that it was self-defense from her terrifying Jason Corbett's, the man, and he has attacked her. Molly Martin's defended herself, and then her father, Thomas Martin, has come running up the stairs and come in and seen his daughter being held by this terrifying man in a headlock, and he's going to kill her. So I run at him with a broomstick or something and smack him over the head. The problem is that the injuries are on the back of his head, so it doesn't check out.
Yeah.
And, lots of manipulation follow with the children. There's lots of, I suppose these series are so work because there's always lots of video of people being interviewed, and the children are interviewed by child psychologists, et cetera, et cetera. But
yeah.
Watch that. It's interesting.
It is interesting. It's another one that, look, there was a couple of other ones this week, the Tylenol murders and all that sort of stuff. But to be honest, there are two picks for the true crime kind of genre.
If you want a bit of that, go for it.
Yeah, if you want a quick view, I saw The Quilters. It made me teary. Did you see The Quilters?
I love The Quilters. I wanted The Quilters to be like a 8-part series.
I mean, it was just, it was a really, it's a tearjerker. It's a really heartfelt. It's got, it's just a lot of heart, and just to see the creativity come out of these really gruff guys is just really amazing.
It's set in a maximum detention facility in America, and these inmates make quilts for foster children.
Yeah, it's really
sweet.
And
they're beautiful quilts. And like I said, I thought it was going to be like an 8-part series. But then it ended, and I went, oh, not everything's an 8-part series.
They're very talented, I must say. I was like, wow. But anyway, that one's on Netflix as well. We're moving along to just a quick review on The White Lotus. Because what do you think of the ending of White Lotus? What do you think of the whole?
I didn't like this series of White Lotus. Yeah. I didn't like it. No, I felt like it went on and on and on. I like the whole
Universal.
I like the whole franchise. Like I've liked every other one. I didn't like it. I liked seeing the really expensive resort. I don't like the incest story. No, thank you. Not interested.
Do you know what I think they're really missing?
In the attic. Do I need another incest story?
Yeah.
What's that?
Do you know what I think they're missing is from season 1, which is their breakout show, which everyone fell in love with. Season 1 had an element of dark comedy, which 2 and 3 did not carry on. The whole pregnancy, the season 1 with the pregnancy and her having the shit, there was so many elements that you're like, it was a comedy of errors. Like all of these things were happening. That clumsiness wasn't there in 2 and 3. You know what I mean?
But 3 was flawed as a story. So the fact that the guy who wants to kill his, wants to kill the man that killed his father.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. That storyline is just pathetic. Like he goes to kill someone, yet he walks in with no plan He then attacks this elderly, incredibly rich man who owns the hotel that he's staying in, and he then goes back to the resort that the guy he attacked owns and just remains there.
Yeah.
You know, in my head, I'm like, you need to leave the resort now. You've just attacked the owner. They're going to come and get you very soon. It doesn't make sense. It's a really bad storyline.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
So that
and
was
it's
flawed.
Yeah. I just feel like it wasn't tied up very well. It was universal that show kind of, it didn't give enough. Like, it just kept giving me the like tiniest bits. It wasn't enough for it wasn't carrying a whole episode, like the contents within it, and also because of the way Binge like gave you one episode a week. It's like, I waited a whole week for that episode. Like, you didn't give me anything, you know?
Yes, there was a lot of long water shots.
Drip feeding.
It just it wasn't good. I didn't enjoy it. Even the girls' relationship thing, like, okay, there's friends, you know, like the bitchy girl relationship thing. I don't ever really. Well, you and I, like, we have a great group of friends, girlfriends, and I don't know, like, I find that story about girls always being bitchy to each other sort of annoys me a bit. I don't think girls are always like that.
And you know what's funny about that? A lot of people said, the creator writes girls so well, you know, and that was done so well, like the complexities between the girlfriends. And I think I agree. Like, I think it was pretty one-dimensional. Like, it was just, it went for really low-hanging fruit, you know. And like the jealousy and you know, the boyfriend, you know, like her going same guy, like, it just felt very like preteen, you know. Anyway, it's definitely not my experience.
I think female relationships are often really strong and supportive. So I just sort of went, okay, great. So there are a bunch of really mean middle-aged women. Well, that's not my experience of middle-aged women.
Yeah, no, I agree. But you know, look, what I will say, like, true to form, he is amazing at building characters out. Like, you really, like, I think in all 3 episodes, like, he does take you on a journey with the development of people's characters, like, as individuals. I felt that, I mean, it wasn't as strong this time, but I think he's still.
Are you talking about the bald man that now lives very rich in Thailand?
Just all of them. I think he is very good at building developing characters and having them, like, be, you know, like that's, it's not just like pushing the story forward. Like, they're very intricate and they're very dynamic kind of characters. All of them. Yeah.
Although the bald guy he killed his wife in season 2 or whatever, and he's now rich and living in Thailand, and he paid off the girl from season 2 to create her own health spa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Greg.
I don't think I need another series with him in it. But
he'll be back.
He doesn't have anything to offer anymore. And, you know, how's he gotten away with murder anyway and living in Thailand and $1 billion? I'm glad the people got their money from him, but it's just gone on a bit. I don't know. I didn't like it. And I didn't like the incest story. I just don't want that.
Yeah. I thought that was the only thing that made it slightly interesting. Like, I was.
Well, that's the shock value. They want the shock value, but there's no.
No, I know what you mean. You could do other things.
Anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah. So let's get on to our reality TV.
The
Baldwins.
The Baldwins. Oh my
God. Hilaria. So
I've
been in this is not my first rodeo with, like, TV viewing. I understand what this show was about. And let me give you an actual picture of what this is about. For someone who worked in television, this was this was a PR exercise through and through. So, what's his name? Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin murdered someone. Now it was. I don't think it's alleged. Oh, so you can't say alleged.
Accidentally.
You can't say murder. You have to say
Second degree murder, isn't it? Or manslaughter?
Murder.
Manslaughter.
He killed someone. I think we can all say that without in trouble.
He would probably say that, I suppose.
I think, no, you have, I mean, that's what happened, right? So he was on the set of Russ, which it was his production. So he was a producer on that show.
Yes.
He was on the set. They were mucking around, setting up the next shot. He picked up a gun, which was on a table. By the way, it was a prop gun. Prop guns are real guns, a lot of them.
Yes, right. Okay.
And
yuck.
you have to. There's a really big procedure when it comes to having guns on set. You need an armorer as a paid person. You also need the prop master to be there. Yep. They all need to have
sign in and out bullets.
No, they call it out, checking the gun, checking the gate, checking the gun. You open the gun. You look. The actor has to look in the gauge. Clear, all clear. Everyone's clear. Put the gun back together, and you move forth with the scene. So everyone is clear that gun doesn't have a bullet live round in it. So none of those people were present.
Don't bother.
None of those people were present. Alex was King Dick on the set because he is the producer, and he just picked it up and started like doing this, like with the gun. He pointed it because the camera was doing like a point of view shot, like directly in front. And the cameraman, the DOP, was behind the camera lens, pretty much.
Yep.
He shot the DOP dead, and a young woman with a family, and another man
with a son, like a 9. She's got like a 9 or 10-year-old boy.
And another man got shot as well, but he survived.
He survived
the shooting. So yeah.
So was it cut costing that made Alec go? That's what I've heard, that they were cutting a lot of costs on set.
Yeah,
and you're saying it's cut costing.
Yes, there was. Yeah, it would have been a bit of that. It would have been a bit of ego as well. And, you know, to his defense, would you think there's a real bullet in a gun on a set? Of course you wouldn't. Like, of course you wouldn't.
Would not.
Like, I don't believe.
You'd have to pay me to pick a gun up you'd have to pay me to pick up a gun and point it at someone. I'd be panicked to pick up a gun, which is a good way to be. And I'm sure Alec wishes he was more panicked at the time. Yeah. I'm sure he's been around guns more often than me. I would not want to pick a gun up.
No, I'm terrified of guns. Like there's no way that I would. Even if I was near one, I would be extremely panicked about that. I would want it
put away.
Yeah. So to have no one on set and just, you know, obviously he was in shock afterwards. Now he had the trial. It went to trial, and he actually got off. It was actually a mistrial. He got very, 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 very lucky because
Why was it a mistrial? What happened? I didn't understand that.
So the people that were prosecuting, the prosecutors didn't share all the information with his team. So when that happens, it's an immediate mistrial. So they have to share every bit of discovery with the other side of the team, and they didn't do that. And it came up in court, and it was within half an hour. Judge is like, boom, done, you're out. Like, you're free to go. Mistrial, done. So it was very, 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 very lucky on his part. I don't think he would have gone to jail for years and years and years, but I definitely would have thought that he would have gotten a huge fine for that. And yeah, he got off pretty well. So anyway, so back to the show, the Baldwins. Yes. That's why I do believe this show is a PR stunt. And I've got to tell you, Joan, I was hook, line, and sinker. Like, they got me. They got me. I liked Alex. I liked Ilaria. I liked like how real they were. Like I
like them too. Places. I think they're really nice.
Yeah. So I swear to God, like it worked. Like they did it. They got me.
Yeah, like Alex just like a grumpy old man who's exhausted with 7 children. He's also kind of like depressed because he's just killed someone, and he's legitimately depressed.
Yeah, no.
And she is a hot young yoga instructor who pretends to be Spanish, which I like too.
I like to.
She just wants to
do.
be Spanish, so she speaks
know.
in Spanish and pretends.
Yeah, her parents Spanish.
I think she did spend some time. She spent part of her life in Spain. I think you could, but she's not Spanish.
She's not Spanish. So I'm born in Australia, but I have two German parents, and they brought me up speaking German. Sometimes sometimes if I think of a word, because I remember that sometimes she was on a TV show, and they were like, she said, "Oh, how you say cucumber?" You know?
Yeah, yes, that's a famous word. Yes.
But sometimes I sometimes
cucumber.
I can only think of the German word for stuff. So like I do get it sometimes, but I think she plays into it a little bit too much.
So it says this, while her family spent time in Spain and her parents eventually moved there, she was born and raised in Boston. Yes, she's been accused of cultural appropriation for adopting a Spanish accent and claiming to be from Mallorca. But what, I mean, who cares?
I don't have a German accent. That's ridiculous. Like that is an actual accent. It is a bit much. But was it that obvious? Was her accent that obvious in the show? Not really.
Maybe she was nervous and she just started talking with us. Well, she was nervous on the cucumber bit. Maybe she was nervous. She was on live TV and she just started speaking with a Spanish accent.
Look, I can't believe I'm like in defense of her, but like they were very likable. I can't help that. I can't help that. They didn't have airs and graces of Megsy and Harry. Like they weren't anything like that. You know, I mean, one thing I will say is like, clean up your fucking dog shit. You know, like how are you a celebrity with that much money and you've got dog shit in every room?
Disgusting. I know. I think that's because they don't clean for themselves. It's a nannying job. Like
will not pick up.
My dog pooed last night. Huge poo in my son's room. Killed me. I was running around like a headless chicken at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Like 3 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah. And I suppose if you're Ilaria and Alec, you would leave that shit there until your cleaners got there the next day. But I know.
Thing, like, get a trainer. You have money for a trainer. The only other thing that I will mention, Joan, and I will probably get cancelled for this, but I could not stop looking at Ilaria's tits.
Boobs?
Yeah.
Boobs?
Yes.
Oh, excuse me. What about her abs? She's cooking a cake in. She's cooking a cake in one scene. And she's had 7 children. One of them's like pretty young, and she's got abs.
She's extremely fit. But I like her breasts were another character in the show. Like they were like, honestly, like I was so curious. I'm like, what are her boobs doing in this shot? Like honestly, they were so prominent. Like they were all encompassed. Like I don't know.
Yeah, she's got great boobs. She puts on a Spanish accent. And
anyway, it was a fun show. Look,
did you watch all of the episodes?
Of course I did.
Well, I mean, look, I may go back. So does anything interesting happen? Like they are having a bit of a like dilemma of he wants to leave New York and she's kind of saying to him, no, Alec, I don't want to live in New York. I'm from Spain.
Look, there's nothing much that goes on. Like she does talk about her breast implants and that she had the redone.
Oh, does she?
I'm like, I felt like it had to be said. I mean, they're so omnipresent that something had to be said
about her breasts. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's just anyway. That might just be me, but anyway, I found them fascinating. But other than that, it was just like dog shit. Playing by the pool. They'll have.
Did Alex seem less stressed at the end of the series because he was highly stressed when I was watching it?
Yeah, look, I think that continues through. I mean, I think he's mentally, like, he's kind of, it does look like he's having like a burnout overwhelm. Like he doesn't want to go back to acting. He's having like a little bit of a crisis of identity at the moment. Wants to retire, but has thousands of kids. Like he doesn't know what he's doing.
Of kids, but also the courts have cost him a lot of money. Like he's been, so he's had to pay for all of that, and that's why they say they did the show. And I think we also have to mention that I did feel really sorry for the family of the woman who died. They didn't want them to do the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And so, I mean, that's a hard pill to swallow. Because, you know, that little boy doesn't have a mum.
No, and it's also like in their head, it would be like you're profiting from this tragedy.
Yes.
But and they would also know it's a PR. It is definitely a PR job. Like that's why you do these shows. You know, like the Kardashians are the kings of it. You know, they know that show is going to give them thousands of different outlets and exposures and different things. So it's not the show. They're not making that much money from the show, but the exposure and the PR value is like where it's at.
So do you think they did it for PR because they want to prove that Alex apologetic for what he... I think he did say he's lost a lot of friends and everything throughout the whole process. But look, did it for me, if I killed someone... What a death in our... If I had killed someone and their final request was, Joan, can you please not make a TV show about you and your family life?
Yeah, no, you would respect that.
I would grant that them.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. That's why I'm saying they didn't, and that's knowing that I'm actually really surprised about that.
Oh, I've changed your... I mean, I still like them even after knowing that, but I do find... I mean, it's just very Hollywood, isn't it?
It's very
anything
yucky.
For the buck.
Well,
maybe they'll give her a whole lot of money. Not her, the son.
That would have been nice if, like, they were like, you know, we're going to give you the profits. You know, I don't know if they needed the money so much. You know, like,
and then also,
very,
so you know that,
man.
so they've got 7 children, and I'm pretty sure at one stage, so she gave birth. I'm pretty sure one of them was through a surrogate or something. So she actually has like. At one point, she gave birth to like a newborn baby, and there's a picture of her with like a newborn baby. But then suddenly she's got 3 weeks later, she's got another newborn baby. So they were like, babies. Like not even, we can't get babies fast enough. We're going to impregnate you, and we're going to go get someone else pregnant. And, my thoughts on that are that, so Alec was married to Kim Basinger. Yes? Remember?
Yes.
They had a daughter together.
Yes, I do.
Ended in a really bad divorce where
her name was Island?
Yes, you are correct. Island? Yeah, something like that. So ended in a bad divorce, and I think he lost his relationship with his daughter through that divorce. I'm pretty sure during the divorce there was recordings of him yelling, and possibly the daughter was on the recordings too. It was ugly.
Oh, so, I do. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so then I think he then moves on, meets Alaria, and just like goes, I want lots of children.
Yeah.
Because he's so sad about the ending of his relationship.
But, you know, we've got to say that she's back in. Did you see Island came back onto the show?
Oh, she did too.
Was on the show. She's in a couple of episodes, and they've got a good relationship now, so they're back on track. But yeah, like it's an entertaining show. Like back to what it is. It is what it is. It's another sort of Kardashian type thing, like where they'll go and wash the car, or they'll go to, you know, couples.
Well, you just get to see these incredibly. They go to the hairdresser, which is an event because there's 7 children.
Like that.
But they also live in a New York Manhattan apartment.
Yeah,
with dog poo all over it. And they have a holiday house in the Hamptons.
Yeah.
And which they go to for long periods of time. And, you know, like, I mean, we all like watching that. Well, I do. Yeah. I like watching their big houses and go, have we talked about Sirens? Would I be happy in that scenario? And the answer is yes. It would make me happy.
Yeah. I feel like we haven't talked about Sirens.
Oh, we haven't. Okay, so Sirens
we're going to do Sirens as the last thing, and then we'll probably sign off from here.
Okay, so Sirens is the new one on Netflix. Do you want to describe it, or do you want me to?
Yes. Yeah. So you got to bring up the visual now. Yeah. So Sirens. Do you have it's Megan Faye It's Susan Sarandon and who's the
No, there's no Susan.
lovely lady who's
No, Megan Faye, Julianne Moore. But I can see why you said
Julianne
Susan
Moore.
Sarandon. And Millie Alcock. Oh, and Kevin Bacon.
She's Aussie. The girl with the blonde hair. She's an Aussie girl.
Sorry, what? The sister that's working for Julianne Moore?
Yes. Yes.
Is she?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So she's had a really good rise to fame very quickly.
Hasn't
yeah,
she?
it's a good show. Brand new show on Netflix. If you love sort of high society kind of stuff, it really, really, really reminded me of The Perfect Couple with Nicole Kidman.
Yes. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Yeah, go on.
Well, because both husbands in The Perfect Couple. So first of all, Nicole Kidman and Julianne Moore play pretty much the same character, which are very, very distinguished, rich women, successful women who everyone's slightly creeped out by, and they sort of run like a wellness community. Although Julianne Moore's is more about saving birds.
Yes.
And both of their husbands smoke joints in like a house around the corner. I mean, that's
in this huge mansion on the beach. It's just very reminiscent of like that whole dynamic on The Perfect Couple. But like, what did you think of it in general? Because I know, like, we're probably not going to give too many spoilers just because it is so brand new.
No, it's new. Yeah.
And it's really watchable. Like, I've got to say, it is watchable, but like, it's kind of
is.
forgettable. That's the only thing. It's watchable but forgettable. That's my.
It goes on. It should have been like a lot of things. They should have stopped it with it could have ended a lot quicker.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I watched Ripley directly after Sirens, and I literally just completely wiped my memory from Sirens because I was so involved in Ripley again. So, like, the quality of production, like, it does stick with you. Like, you know, like, it just some programs are just a bit one-dimensional, and the ending, wasn't great, you know.
No, it was really annoying. It's frustrating. I watched it with my children. Probably shouldn't have, and we were really annoyed by the ending.
Yeah,
I didn't like that.
Not unbelievable.
No. So I suppose it's like it's funny how a lot of these series are so similar. Like you've got, like you mentioned, The Perfect Couple with Nicole Kidman. Yeah. I prefer Julianne Moore as an actress. What about you? Who do you prefer, Julianne Moore or Nicole Kidman?
I mean, I think Nicole Kidman really suits the evil villain. I'm like, she kind of really fits that mold. I feel like that's who she is as a person, but she's probably really nice. But she plays it really well.
Yeah. So it's also similar to, which is the second series of this out, which is 9 Perfect Strangers, which you haven't seen. You need to go back and watch the first series of 9 Perfect Strangers. It's really good. And again, Nicole Kidman plays like the owner of a wellness centre, and she's spooky and she's sort of ethereal, whimsical and slightly evil, which is what Julianne Moore is in this one,
is that
Sirens.
Screaming?
And what does, Mickey. What does Sirens mean, Nadia?
So Sirens, it's Greek mythology. It's actually a woman with wings that like calls in like people with ships. I had the down and now I've lost it, but it's basically a woman with wings. Yeah.
Yeah, which she kind of does. She stands on the edge of the cliff.
I didn't get it. I thought it was like that's right.
You know.
I had no idea what a siren was.
I just always thought it meant like, you know, there was that Elle Macpherson movie called Sirens, and it was like 3 with Elle Macpherson, someone else, and there was the 3 women standing on the front cover with.
It was like mermaids, weren't they in water?
Well, maybe they are a little bit like mermaids.
Wings, yeah, interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, look, it's you can watch it. It's okay. It's
yeah. It's not begging for a second season, though, is it?
Oh God, no.
No.
I mean,
all right. Well, go on.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, it's just, it explores the relationship between the sisters and having to look after their sick father and whose responsibility is it. But yeah, it's no, you don't need to watch you don't. Oh, it's okay. If you're bored, watch it.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I just feel like I wasn't that invested in the characters. It's one of those shows where you probably look at scroll your phone while watching it and still like get what's happening. It's really like like put it on while you're cooking kind of show. Like I didn't really think it was that great. But anyway, look, I think we're going to wrap up at this stage. I feel like we've covered a lot of fantastic viewing, and I feel like everyone has like some homework to go and watch their shows. Yeah, definitely some options, and a great variety of options. So like, let's just do a little bit of housekeeping. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. We're a brand new channel, so we really appreciate your comments. It all sort of helps with the engagement. Also, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify, if you have some time, give us a 5-star review. Thank you. That would be lovely. And follow us. That would be amazing. And we really appreciate all the support and love that are coming our way.
All right, happy birthday to you, Nadia Dusselberg.
Thank you. I'm going to go and cake. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Och, that's enough moaning for today, lasses. See you next week.